Yes, good morning everyone. My name is Christine Ilona and my topic for this morning is all about the writing test items in the lower and higher order thinking skills, or the lots and hots, and the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So for the Bloom's taxonomy, this was created by Benjamin Bloom in 1956, so published as a kind of classification of learning outcomes and objectives that have, in more than half a century since, been used for everything from framing digital tasks and evaluating apps to writing questions and assessment. So, this Bloom's taxonomy is a set of three hierarchical models used to classify education learning objectives into levels of complexity and specificity. So this is the old Bloom's taxonomy and the revised Bloom taxonomy. So as you can see, on the original sequence of cognitive skills was from knowledge to comprehension to application, then analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So, but this framework was revised in 2001 by Lauren Anderson and David Krathwohl, yielding the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So the most significant change to the cognitive domain was the removal of synthesis. So then the addition of creation as the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. And being at the highest level, the implication is that it is the most complex or demanding cognitive skill, or at least represents a kind of pinnacle for cognitive task. So this picture shows the comparison of revised and the old Bloom's taxonomy. So as you can see, from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills, so dako siya nausab jud no to natong creating, giwala si synthesis. So how Bloom's taxonomy is useful for teachers. So ang kaning Bloom's taxonomy is popular kay siya. So for now, it's clear that many educators love Bloom's because, among other virtues, it gives them a way of think about their teaching and the subsequent learning of their students. So, as mentioned, ang framework can be used to create assessments, evaluate the complexity of assignments, then increase the rigor of a lesson, so simplify an activity to help personalize learning. Then you have to design in summative assessment, then plan a project-based learning. Pwede po siya mag-frame ka o group discussion, and many more. So because it simply provides an order for cognitive behaviors, it can be applied to almost anything. So muni siya ang differences, comparison sa Bloom's taxonomy into revised nga Bloom's taxonomy. So for the knowledge, so cognitive siya. So naa siya sa revised is remembering. So kung sa knowledge mag-recall information, same ra sa remembering, recognizing and recalling relevant information from long-term memory. Then next is the comprehension. You have the understanding the meaning, paraphrase a concept, and for the revised, there's understanding which or where you make your own meaning from educational material such as reading and teacher explanations. And for the application, here you will use the information or concept in a new situation. Then for the revised, you have applying, where using a learned procedure either in a familiar or new situation. And for the analysis, where you break information or concepts into parts to understand it more fully. In revise, you have analyzing, So breaking knowledge also down into its parts and thinking about how the parts relate to its overall structure. Then we have the synthesis, where you put ideas together to form something new. Then for the revised Bloom's taxonomy, we have evaluating. So in evaluating, you have to it includes checking and critiquing. Mag-critic. Then you have the evaluation, where you make judgments about value. Then creating. So revise, well, it involves putting things together to make something new. So we have here the lower order thinking skills and the higher order thinking skills. So moto siya ang nabilong sa lower order thinking skills, mao si knowledge, comprehension, and application for the old taxonomy. Then tara, si nata si remembering, understanding, and applying for the revise. Sa higher order thinking skills, it includes analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Nasa revised taxonomy. So sa old, naana siya sa analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So we will go to the construction of test items in different types. So in order to have an effective as well as well-established examination system, so test items play an important part as they made a strong examination system. So sa mga schools, mga colleges, mga universities, ang students witness a diverse range of examination questions. So what is a test item? Muna siyang specific task test takers are asked to perform. So test item in any test center is a specific question of a specific nature. Ask the students to evaluate his or her thinking abilities and exam preparation. So for instance, a test item may judge a student's vocabulary after providing a list of words, and students have to provide the right answer. So there are two types of test item. We have the objective tests and we have the subjective test. For under the objective test, we have the true or false statements, we have the matching type, we have the multiple choice, and the problem-based questions. And for the subjective test, we have the fill in the blanks, the completion or short answer, and we have the essay type. So for the true or false statements, items are simple statement which must be either completely true or completely false. So where the student judges the truth or falsity of the statement and indicates suitably with letter T for true and F for false. So in this type of question, students are given a statement with either true or false nga options. So students who know what a statement is all about can easily mark it being true or false. So best suited for knowledge level learning and understanding of popular misconceptions. So nasa'y two logical responses are possible. Ang advantages sa true or false is that answer many questions in short time. So syempre no, kay T ug F ra gud imong i-answer. The next, we have relatively easy to construct. Dali ra jud kayo. Ang disadvantages niya is limited to testing knowledge of information, then 50-50 ang chance of correct guess. Then low iyang reliability. Then for the matching type is a type of test that can be used to measure pupils' ability to associate events with persons, terms with definitions, principle. So sa matching type, best suited ni siya for knowledge level daw nga learning of the who, what, when, where, nga mga variety. Muna siya sa matching type. Then, certain comprehension level outcomes niya. Then, sa traditional format sa matching type, consist na siya 2 columns, di ba? So, one for consists of problems nga to be answered, then the other column contains the answer. So, ang student required to make some sort of association between each premise and unsay ang answer. Ang advantages sa matching type is that maximum coverage of knowledge level learning with a minimum of space and preparation time. Then, isa siyang advantage is valuable in subject fields in which a great variety of facts must be learned and easy to score po siya. Disadvantage sa matching type is that time consuming for the student, then not well suited for measuring higher level learning outcomes. Next test item is the multiple choice. So, in multiple choice, the student is asked to choose the correct answer where there are also distractors. So, considered by experts to be the most effective of all the test items. So, ang multiple choice item consists of 2 parts. Ang stem nga contains a problem or ang statement. Then, naa siya mga 3 or 4 ka mga responses nga isa ra na ang correct. So, ang taker is asked to choose the correct answer. And ang katong rest is mga distractors to siya nga magsamok-samok lang. So, ang advantages ana is it can be used with different knowledge areas and skills. Compromise between essay and true or false. We have guessing is reduced and minimum writing for student. Then wide range of content can be covered on one test. Then disadvantage niya is difficult to construct good test items. Then quality and quantity of distractors and time consuming jud siya pag mag-construct ka. So, natay line-line form sa multiple choice. Una is ang question form. So, ang STEM is stated in the form of a question. Naputa incomplete statement form. Muna siya nga si student is identify niya ang remaining part sa incomplete nga statement. The next, we have the right answer form where the student identifies the one and only correct answer. Then, we have the best answer form where the student selects the best answer from a series of possible answers. So, it requires student to use judgment. Next is we have the fill in the blanks, completion or short answer. So, kani siya din is sa completion type is a statement wherein an important word or concept missing and the student is asked to supply the omission. So, ang sa short answer type question pod is short answer questions are the constructed response. So, questions that demand answer in a paragraph or few sentences are asked in each category. So, advantages niya is easy to construct. Excellent po siya sa who, what, when, where information. Then, minimizes guessing correctly. Then, encourages more intensive study by student. Ang iyang disadvantages is instructor may use too many since they are easy to construct. So, therefore, overemphasizes memorization of facts. Then, more than one answer may be correct. And, pero, iyang scoring is difficult. Next is the essay type. So, for the essay type, more effective at the higher levels of learning to test synthesis and evaluation. So, ang advantages niya ani is easy to construct si essay type. So, mag-demonstrate siya students' ability to organize knowledge. then express opinions, and show originality. Then, minimizes guessing correctly sa essay type. Then, stimulates superior study methods. So, sa essay test, demand siya og long answers. So, ang essay test inquires the students to recall rather than recognize information. Much time is required ani pag-answer. So, this type of question as the student has to organize. So, the student will express his ideas in writing clearly and concisely, so few questions can be asked within the limited time, in as much as the test cannot cover the entire syllabus. Disadvantage sa essay type is that limited ang yang sampling sa material covered. So then, inadequate yung scoring key can make the scoring subjective and unreliable. Then, scoring may be extremely time-consuming and time-consuming po siya to grade. So, sa pag-construct sa essays, we have rules. So, first rule is use essays to measure analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So, next rule is provide reasonable time limits for each question. So, dapat nga kung mag-question ka is, iyang answers is maghatag kag for pila ka minutes. Kay, basin pa man taas na kayo ang answers sa estudyante. 3 is avoid permitting students a choice of questions. Then, dapat i-avoid na kay some teachers will have 5 questions, then they will let their students just choose 2 questions to answer. So rule number 4 is be sure easy questions have a definitive task. Then rule number 5, the score restricted response answers by the checklist point method using a model answer as a guide. Then 6, score the essay without the knowledge of the name of the student. So, dili, kung pwede dili nimo tan-awon sa pangalan sa estudyante para dili ka mag-expect og taas per me. Next is the score all of the student answers to one question before moving to the next question. Then don't let scoring be influenced by handwriting, spelling, or neatness. So, pero as a student po, make sure that readable ang imuang essay. Kay makasapot biya po basahon kung dili siya mabasa. So, putting the test together in an examination, ha. So, natay mga do's and don'ts. So, don't crowd too much material on a page. So, dapat hanay siya. Next is, do include complete instructions. So, dapat every part sa test items is na siya clear nga instruction unsaon pag-answer sa estudyante. The next is, don't make the test too long. So, maburingan na kay estudyante, kay daghan na kay siya gihuna-huna, kay taas kay ang exam, garambol na siyang ulo, dili na din siya mag-answer. Muna siya. Next is, do right power test, not speedy test. Then, 5th, we have do group all items of the same type together. So, for example, first name is multiple choice, 1 to 5. Then, next is matching type, 1 to 5 na po. Ano? So, imo na siyang i-group. Test 1, test 2, test 3. Ano? The next is, do announce the dates of major tests. So, kung kani siya nga mga test items is imong ipunon in a major test, then, announce it so that they will know that it's for the major exams. So, there are also additional consideration in making a test. We have the validity. So, in validity, a test should measure what it intends to measure and not what we do not want it intends to measure. For example, a test on general scientific knowledge should only measure scientific knowledge and not linguistic or arithmetical ability of the child. Then we have the reliability. So a test is reliable when it functions consistently. So it must function in similarly with similar groups. So it should rate the same candidates at the same score, even if it is examined by the same or different examines at the same or different times. So the difference in score should be negligible. Next, we have objectivity. So in objectivity, it should yield the same or nearly the same score, irrespective of the person who scores it. The scorer's personal judgment, like and dislikes, should not influence the scoring. So, una siya, dapat dili ka maging judgmental. Next is practicability. Here, students should finish the test in the time allotted for it. So, it should neither be too long or nor too short. So, should keep the students busy all the time from disciplinary and administrative point of view. So, dapat is naa siya'y allotted time jud every part sa exam. Scorability. Sa scorability, it should be constructed in such a way that the boredom caused by the routine of scoring is cut down to the minimum. So, it should allow the use of key in marking so that the test sheet is checked more or less automatically and without subjectivity. Next is clarity. So, directions given should be brief down and definite so that pupils are not handicapped with wrong performance due to misunderstanding of directions. So, dapat in writing directions on how to answer each part of the test items, dapat clear jud siya. So, wag nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Direct to the point para clear jud siya. Next is comprehensive. So, it should cover the whole syllabus. Importance should be given to each topic while setting the paper. Care should be taken that minimum choice is given. Graded. So, sa graded is, it should be according to the age and intelligence of the student. So, kung imong estudyante is grade 3, ayaw po siya taga-ayaw exam nga pang grade 6, pang first year college, or grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. So, dapat kung sa level sa iyang knowledge, maura po dito kataman. So, muna, naatay syllabus nga muna siya ato ang basihan sa exam nga ihatag. Next is the evaluation of test results involving as it does all the problems of scoring and weighting of items and the assignment of relative weights to test used in a battery. So, it's surrounded with highly technical consideration, evaluation. So, mura to siya ang about sa test items, and so that's all. Thank you.